Ein herzliches Willkommen zurück zu Kontrast. So, wir wollen dem Stiefvater ein bisschen unter die Arme greifen und seinen Zirkus zum Laufen bringen und was verkaufen. Hier Sachen reparieren.
I know she's around here somewhere. Ah, there she is. Once upon a time, there was a princess who lived in a castle with her father, the king. The king loved her very much because daddies loved their daughters. Unfortunately, the kingdom also had an ogre who was eating travelers because ogres do that.
Mein Englisch ist nicht so toll.
The king did what kings do and promised that anyone who slew the ogre would get to marry his only daughter, the princess, and become king when he died. The king's lands were very far away, and the ogre was very large, so only one knight showed up. His name was Fred, and he fell immediately in love with the princess. Fred was a brave knight, and he marched off the next morning, singing a brave song as loudly as he could. After several days had passed, the princess got to wondering what had happened to her future husband. So she set off into the forest to look for him. The princess tracked Fred's footprints through a strange wilderness full of scary sounds and hidden dangers. Chasms filled with razor-sharp bamboo. Fortunately, she was a very brave princess who loved adventures, just like you. She used her wits to get past unexpected obstacles.
Okay, was muss ich jetzt machen? Hier hoch. Okay, nicht schwer. Ich in die Dorn
fallen. She came to a wide river filled with snapping crocodiles. She couldn't even swim. So what do you think she did?
Oh Gott. Ich mag sowas nicht. Ah, geschafft.
That's right. It was a magical forest where the plants seemed to know each other. She had to use magic mushrooms to get high or up.
Oh nee, okay. Wie soll das gehen? Okay, Moment. Der kommt hier und dann kann ich doch hier nicht hoch. Oder kann ich dann so drumherum? Oder kann ich... Nein! Nein! Bitte nicht nochmal. Okay. Den brauche ich, den brauche ich. Wenn ich jetzt genau umgekehrt machen soll. Okay, warte mal. Ich muss erst den machen. Dann, wenn der hochgeht, springe ich nämlich hier hoch.
She learned to use some bendy tree branches to fling herself across a patch of deadly sharp bamboo. As the sun was setting, she came to the giant ogre's campsite. And there, the princess discovered that the ogre had captured Fred and hung him from a tree as a snack. The ogre did not appreciate visitors at all. Even Fred seemed a little embarrassed to see her.
Schreibt doch. Scheiße. So, jetzt aber.
But the princess was a woman of action, and she was nimble, and the ogre was clumsy and easy to taunt.
What's a taunt?
That's when you make fun of someone. You should never make fun of people, but with ogres, sometimes you have to.
Hey, hier. Okay. Du sollst hier draufschlagen. So, also hoch. Jetzt. Ah, ich weiß, glaube ich. Oh. Nee, ich weiß. Okay. Ich glaube, ich weiß wie. Bisher habe ich ja eigentlich alles relativ gut hingekriegt. So, zack, zack. Dann schlägst du hier hin und ich gehe dann kurz... Ne, das war zu früh. Lustiges Spiel. Wirklich lustiges Spiel. Muss ich wirklich sagen, macht echt Laune. Hey, du sollst hinschlagen. So, zack. Okay, jetzt muss ich es aber richtig machen. Was habe ich jetzt falsch? Ah, ich weiß, was ich falsch habe. So, zack. Okay, so. Meine Liebe. So, schnell, schnell. So. Den habe ich erschlagen. Oh, habe ich jetzt den Prinz auch erwischt?
And so the princess tricked the ogre and rescued Fred. Fred didn't feel too good about it. He really loved the princess. Fortunately, the king told him about a giant spider that he could slay in order to win the princess's hand. So Fred marched off to the lair of the giant spider, singing a brave song, a little less loudly than before.
Trottel.
After several days had passed, the princess got to wondering what had happened to her future husband. So she went off looking for him again.
Nicht euer Ernst.
Fred's footprints led her into a dark and creepy cavern, full of strange dripping sounds, kind of like the basement at school. Her footsteps echoed and echoed, until it sounded like someone was following her. Soon she came to a vast pit.
Oh.
Unfortunately, she impaled herself on the bamboo.
Ja, habe ich
Wait, that's
gemerkt.
not what happened. Soon she came to a vast pit, filled with vicious, deadly spikes. It was much too big to jump over, but far off, she could hear moaning. She thought it might be Fred. So what do you think she did?
I know.
What?
She used an umbrella.
What?
Like that nanny in that movie.
This is the Middle Ages, honey. Where would she get an umbrella?
I don't know, but that's what she used.
I don't think I have an umbrella.
Well, you better find one, because she used an umbrella.
Where am I supposed to get an umbrella?
Ja, und jetzt hole ich den. Okay. Bella?
Oh, there we go. So, the princess bravely threw herself into the air, slowing her fall using an umbrella. Just like that nanny in the movie. She floated down into the cave.
Cool.
Deeper and deeper into the cavern she floated. She thought she could hear Fred moaning. But maybe it was only the wind.
Was? Was passiert? Was habe ich
She
getan?
impaled herself on the bamboo. Wait, that's not what happened.
Ach, shit. Hey, was habe ich jetzt gerade gemacht? Was ist passiert? Also die Spinne haben wir gesehen. Bin ich irgendwo an so einer blöden Dings hängen geblieben
Deeper
wahrscheinlich.
and deeper into the cavern she floated. She thought she could hear Fred moaning. But maybe it was only the wind.
Können wir jetzt probieren mal? Ah, nee, da komme ich gar nicht hin. Okay, dann gehen wir mal noch weiter runter. Vorsichtig, vorsichtig. Hier.
Finally, she landed softly. Right in a spider's web.
Okay, und jetzt? Kann nichts machen. Hä? Was ist jetzt passiert? Kann gar nichts. Oh,
Fortunately, it was a very old web, and she was able to break free. Unfortunately, the web was the only thing holding up
Oh,
a
Gott.
giant boulder. The princess needed to find somewhere to hide.
okay, was habe ich... Oh nein. Okay. Okay. Spinnnetze habe ich weg. Ach, scheiße. Nochmal. Das Ding hier. So. Oh. Nein. Ich weiß, ich muss. Okay, ich hab's gesehen. Kein Problem. Pipi. So. So, zack. Und jetzt. Und weiter geht's. Ja.
Suddenly,
Ja,
a
was
giant spider jumped out of the shadows and attacked her.
Oh, den richtigen Weg genommen.
She ran and jumped and climbed, but the giant spider was very good at climbing too. It had 8 legs and the princess only had 2.
Ja, klar. Oh Gott, ich hasse sowas. Wo bin ich? Oh.
Fortunately, the princess remembered how the
So.
webs were holding up boulders.
Du bist erwischt. Oh nein, vorsichtig.
Poor spider.
Mhm. Tschüss.
Finally, she found Fred.
Ach,
He was all wrapped up like a present for the giant spider's girlfriend. He was dreadfully embarrassed about having to be rescued again. He really loved the princess. The princess decided he was cute. Fortunately, the king told him about a
Oh,
dragon that he
nein.
could slay in order to win the princess's hand and stop being so embarrassed. So Fred marched off to the mountaintop of the dragon, singing a brave song very quietly. After a few days, the princess got to wondering,
Why her dad kept trying to give her away?
that too, but she was worried about Fred, so she went off to find him.
na gut. Dann suchen wir auch nach Red zum 3. Mal. Aber das ist das allerletzte Mal.
The dragon's mountain was cold, and the wind howled at her to turn back. There were rock slides and fiery chasms,
Oh.
but she was very brave and nimble, just like you. She wasn't going to be put off by a few deadly dangers.
So. Heute so.
Up and up she climbed. When she got cold, she thought about the hot buttered muffins she would make once she got Fred home. Do you still like muffins?
I love muffins.
Was ist denn das?
Princess hoped Fred liked muffins.
Mhm. Dann nochmal. Wer hat jetzt hier Schwein gehabt? Ich habe Schwein gehabt. Komm, bitte nochmal. Komm. Schnell, schnell, schnell. Kam ja von oben.
When the
glaub ich.
princess got to the lair of the dragon, she was not very surprised to see Fred hanging from the roof of the dragon's cave. So she taunted the dragon until it roared its fiery breath at her.
Oh. Okay, das habe ich jetzt noch nicht so richtig verstanden. Da machen soll wahrscheinlich. Ah ja, so. Mhm. Perfekt. Nicht schwer. Komm. Oh, wieso war der jetzt so schnell? War der doch gerade eben nicht. Ah, nur noch zum Glück nur einen. So.
Finally, burning away the ropes that were tying up Fred. And so the princess and Fred lived happily ever after. Fred never had to go on another adventure again, and they had hot buttered muffins every morning. There is another version of the story where the princess flew off on the dragon's back to have a life full of adventures, but that's for another day.
Schön.
Yay! Yay, Dawn, you did it!
Gut. Da waren es nur noch 2. Das war doch ein nettes Märchen jetzt. Das fand ich doch schön. Und von daher, sag mal... Oh, was ist das? Ach, Popcorn. Beenden wir auch hiermit die Folge. Ich sage herzlichen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bis denne. Tschüss.